How's it going, everybody? Godbaer here. Once again, thank you for clicking into one of my videos, and we are back on our online Rams franchise going up against these Cleveland Browns, and my opponent is dotting us up with J.J. Nelson, and that man's got 96 speed, and just to show us what kind of game it's going to be a fumble, but luckily we knew he was down by contact. But regardless, Madden was just showing us what kind of game this is going to be by allowing him to recover it and score the touchdown, despite, like I said, it not actually counting, just letting us know what kind of game we're in for, as we cannot make tackles, and this man gets into the end zone after some poor tackling by our defense, and we got to step it up. Obviously, last week we struggled against the Green Bay Packers and nearly lost that game, and now this game we're already down early in the first quarter, and that is not what we want to do, but we all got Paul Richardson streaking him, and our opponent loves to play with that free safety, and he plays very aggressive and comes down after us, and as we miss the tackle, we got a little aggressive ourselves and went for the big hit, but we missed the running back off the pitch play off the Wildcat, and once again just some poor tackling, and once again J.J. Nelson. This man's like a 52 overall, but if you got speed, you're a threat, and J.J. Nelson, like I said earlier, has 96 speed, which is one away from the fastest player in the game. And right here, trying to scramble with Matt Scott. He's putting the ball on the ground, and the Browns will recover the ball, which is not what we needed because we are already down 13-7. And my opponent did miss his extra point because at times this game is laggy. You guys will see at times the video kind of pauses, and don't worry, it is not your connection or your video quality. It is purely just the game connection, and it lags a little bit just like it did right there. And my opponent, luckily, his receiver got pushed. I'm happy it wasn't defensive pass interference, but he stumbles, allows him to not catch the ball. But we do also go down 9 points because my opponent kicks a field goal, and then our very first play of our next possession gets pulled back because of a holding penalty. And then once again we're trying to run with Matt Scott. He once again drops the ball, but luckily we recover this one. 3rd and 16, looking for somebody. We got nobody, so we try to thread the needle. Luckily nobody catches it on our side or his side. My opponent once again gets the ball back, but luckily he tries to do that Wildcat, pitches it, but his quarterback Johnny Manziel got swarmed, so there was no one to pitch the ball, and it ends up hitting one of his own players and hitting the grass where we recover it. And these Browns have been covering my receivers like crazy. I know none of my receivers are all that great, but every now and then somebody has to get open. But hasn't been happening in this game. Is somehow he gets through that middle and he ran commit to the right, but Todd Gurley does what Todd Gurley does and makes phenomenal plays. As you saw, he broke his user tackle, got to the outside and into the end zone, and lowered our deficit by only 2 points. And that's exactly what we need. We need some good plays on offense, especially because he keeps hitting us with this route right here. I'm not even sure what that route is called, as we should have had a user pick, but we got the terrible animation of you pretty much wave at the ball as it goes by you. And once again, this route right here, it's not an out route, it's I call it an out route-ish route because he kind of angles out a little bit, as we get a nice little user pick because every now and then he hit me with this little post route, and we weren't having that anymore. But yeah, it's like an out route-ish route. He kind of angles out a little bit instead of just running straight up, and then he cuts back into the left super hard. And that route is extremely hard to cover, and my opponent loves to go to it often and very frequently, as Matt Scott scrambled once again because none of my receivers are getting open. And this part, I'm happy wasn't intercepted, but just one of those plays that it didn't really check to confirm which button my screen was, because I was in the the slot offset, where you have your running back on the left side of the field roll out behind you to the right, and then the running back on your right goes to your left, as we get a nice little interception over the wide receiver. But Travis Benjamin's not that tall, so not too much of a surprise, but we're happy that we got it. But I pretty much just checked real quick, and triangle was my running back on the left side, and my mind was going way too fast and wasn't really thinking and ended up just thinking, okay, you know what, running back on the left is triangle, so the running back that I had that was on my right side of the field going to the left, I just, you know, my mind connected the wrong dots and said, okay, running back on the left is triangle, and the running back on the right was going to the left, so that means throw the triangle, but that wasn't the case. And we're talking about that play way too much because we are far past it right here. We got a 1st and 17 after a holding penalty. A lot of holding penalties this game, especially on our very first play of the possession, but a lot of time the plays were not very good and we got a holding penalty anyways. And my opponent once again being way too aggressive with his free safety, so we gotta hit him up with Paul Richardson. And yeah, that man right here, Gabriel, did a pretty good job as well. My opponent loved having the inside slot receivers on streaks, those little out routish routes, and then post route from the right or left side. He likes the flip plays as well. But anyways though, we do have the lead in the second half now. Didn't mean to stutter right there or hesitate with our quarterback. We meant to just continuously roll out of the pocket and get the first down, but you see that we stopped with the quarterback and then continued to run again. Is right here. Tried to hit him with Paul Richardson because he came down, but this time the safety was really far back and just was able to go ahead and stay behind the wide receiver and get an animation, which my wide receiver didn't want to fight for that ball whatsoever. But my opponent right here does pick up the 3rd and 2, gets himself a first down with J.J. Nelson, and that man at this point is frustrating me as once again this route. It's like I hate playing man coverage because man coverage allows you to get beat by a ton of different routes. As right here we're going to get a nice little sack with Robert Quinn, making him have a 2nd and 17, and he's going to try to hit us with that post route once again. And we put purples out there with Alec Ogletree, and we ain't going to let that happen. So we got the ball back, giving us the chance to solidify this victory by putting up a touchdown if we can. And 3rd and 9, looking for somebody. We do find our man Paul Richardson, who's breaking 2 tackles, going down by the 3rd one, but just getting us and making us play because Paul Richardson is the only man that has touchdown. Wait, no. Todd Gurley's got one. I forgot about that nasty broken tackle off the user and bounce to the outside after the run commit. But yeah, we're down into the red zone now. We are up by 4 points. Gonna hopefully make this by a full touchdown by getting a field goal or just doing whatever we can, but it didn't really matter because our run game with Todd Gurley, and at the very last trying to hit him with a little wide receiver sweep with Tavon Austin, ended up chewing up all the clock. And we are happy we went home with this game because once again we kind of continued with the mistakes, and that's not how we want to play football. Obviously that is what, 5 interceptions in the last 2 games, and the first 4 games of the season we had a single interception. So we got to pick up our mistakes and go ahead and throw them out the window and play some mistake-free football and win games like we were doing the first 4 games of the season. We still are undefeated, but we got to play better. And as long as the opposing team turns over the ball more than we do when we do play mistake football, hey, that's okay. We just have to capitalize on those turnovers. And you see J.J. Nelson, 9 catches, 163 yards. But luckily we had Paul Richardson with 3 catches, 138 yards. So we finally had a 100-yard receiving receiver, which is nice to have. Only sack is Robert Quinn, so not much pressure from either team, especially because our mascot scrambled out of the pocket very frequently. And here are 2 videos for you guys to watch. The first one is a Minecraft one, just showing you guys that I have a server that you guys can join and play with me. It is on PC, and pretty much just thanking each and every one of you guys for helping me hit 1,000 subscribers. And then my QB franchise that I know I've been neglecting about uploading and recording, but we will get to that one soon. Just gonna let you guys catch up on this one if you haven't seen it for the next one. And until next time, everybody, Godbaer out.